Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of the Leven podcast. I'm your host Leven. Today's a very exciting day for a couple of reasons. First of all, I got a new microphone. Shout out to my boy Winter. Follow him on Twitter at WinterFPS. He hooked me up with a new microphone. That's my boy, man. I love the guy. Second of all, we're going to be joined by Benji today. Benji is obviously an amazing player. I don't have to say much about him. You guys already know the deal when it comes to Benji. But going to be exciting talking to him. Obviously, he was one of the first ways to double qualify. He has had such a long career, such an interesting journey up to the point he's at now. So it should be interesting. Obviously, with the new mic, I'm still trying to sort out certain audio settings and whatnot. So I apologize if the audio isn't, at the best quality. There might be a bit of background noise, etc. But bear with me. I know I said that Facecam would be on the next episode of the podcast. And I know actually if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I announced that Smeeth was going to be my next interview. But that is true still. I will still be interviewing Smeeth. That will be the next episode. But on that episode, we'll have a face cam. For today's episode of Benji, there is no face cam. So apologies for people who maybe wanted to see that. But follow me on Twitter for news on the podcast. I recently started up a Discord for the podcast. So actually some of the questions that I asked today, towards the end, I kind of read out some questions from people in my Discord. So the Discord will be on my Twitter. I'm gonna, if you follow me on Twitter at Leven2k, you'll be able to see the Discord. It's on my pinned tweets. Join the Discord. I got a bunch of pros in there, and it's just a Discord for you guys to kind of discuss the podcast, discuss the content that I'm putting out for you guys. Leave questions for people I'm going to be interviewing. So obviously, if you want to get on the podcast, if you want to hear your question answered, leave it in the Discord. Thank you guys for listening to me talk rubbish. I'm going to get into Benji. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. Alright, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
How you been? What you been getting up to? I know Savage has been away for the past couple of days. So
Yeah, I've just been chilling, really. I mean, yeah, while Savage has been away this week, I've been taking it like a break week, pretty much.
Yeah.
I've been playing custards when I can, just with like fills and stuff. But I've been chilling. He got home last night, so I played a few customs with him today. But yeah, doing good.
You guys are going to be playing Fortnite Friday today, right?
Yeah. 3 more hours.
Yeah, fair enough. What did you think of the new patch this week?
Where the unvoted pump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good because at the time it was only, I mean, the only 2 shotguns were the combat and attack, and like the only really viable one was the combat. Like combat would win 9 times out of 10 out against attack. So I think them adding the pump it's created it's created another option that you can take, and it's like easier to find because combat was kind of rare.
Yeah.
So adding the pump it was a good choice.
So obviously, like, I know you haven't been able to play as much because obviously your duo partner's been away. But from what you have played, what's it been like? Like, what's the main difference you've noticed with the pump?
The main difference. I mean, obviously nowadays 1 pump's back, so
Yeah.
you can turn a fight around just like instantly. I'm not sure if I like that or not. I think it's definitely it's not nice to get 1 pump, but
Yeah.
it's I like how you can put it back even when you're like low HP or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually really like the meta right now. I think it's really enjoyable. I'm enjoying the game, which is nice because I want to try and play as much as possible before World Cup.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
like, what on your thoughts on the state of the game and like just in terms of the future of Fortnite. Do you like the direction they're moving in?
Yeah. The last few patches have been really nice. Yeah. I mean, I think it's past like three patches.
Yeah.
All of them have been super good. They've listened to the community. I think they can still do a few more things. Like I know I really want them to vote the heavy sniper. I think that'll be perfect. But I mean, it's up to them. So, but I really like the direction they're being like heading in recently. It's really good for the game.
How do you have you ever got the chance to speak to anyone in Epic, like, or communicate with them about anything, like give them feedback?
Nah, not really. I think Epic I mean, they listen to the community, but they haven't. I don't think they ever reach out to like players to see like what they want.
Yeah,
I think they just see what the general like fan base wants,
yeah, yeah,
and then sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't.
yeah.
But recently, I've been doing it a lot, so yeah.
Obviously the Boom Cup was yesterday. Where did you actually
Yep.
place in that? And then,
Um, I honestly have no idea. I won the first game, and then it all kind of went downhill, and
that's funny
started spawning a
because
lot.
the first game you apparently you were playing with an IRL friend.
Yeah, well, was it? It was it's Smith IRL
Oh, okay.
that I'm good friends with. And so I was meant to play with Sakona,
Yeah.
but Sakona's PC crashed. So I
Uh,
messaged him, and he's like never played a tournament in his life.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I played with him. Uh, yeah, and we ended up winning. We got to late game, and then I messed up a launch pad, and he died because of it. So then I was solo,
Yeah.
and I managed to win it somehow. Yeah, I was pretty surprised because now he's got now Sphinx Ira has now got 12.50 euro earnings in Fortnite. So
Hey, he's lit. More than me, mate. Flipping out. Um, like, oh, I was gonna ask you, like, when you play with people other than Savage, because you guys have been playing for quite a while now, I guess a couple of months, and you've been so successful. When you play with other people, does it make you appreciate like Savage as a duo more, like, and realize how good what you have is? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I've never played better with like any other duo partner.
yeah,
Like, I think the only person who has come close to how me and Savage plays when I've played with Mongraal before.
yeah,
We're really good together, but I think me and Savage are definitely like, oh, like communication stuff is still like just so clean. Oh no, I find it weird to play with other people. Uh, I think I've gotten so used to playing with Savage.
yeah,
Playing with other people, I'm just yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I played with like during the week where Savage wasn't here.
yeah,
I played with Phil's like the whole week.
yeah,
And yeah, I guess it like I don't know. It shows that
yeah, yeah. I know what you're trying to say.
I don't play with like anybody else apart from Savage pretty much. So
Yeah.
it's weird to play with somebody else.
Obviously, you obviously are now going to be trioing with Mongraal. I don't know how like the trios are going to work in terms of
Mm.
whether Epic is going to stick with it, but in the event that they do stick with it and it's an actual competitive game mode, you three will be playing with each other. What was like? How did that decision get made?
Um, I think it was like as soon as like trios got announced, I think we were like thinking about it like, or me and Savage were thinking about who we could trio with, and then we were either gonna go with Issa
Yeah,
or Mongraal. Um, so we messaged Mongraal first to see if he wanted to trio, and he was down for it.
yeah,
So we took Mongraal, and then yeah, then Micho went with Provoked Imagine.
two
So yeah,
really good
it all
players.
kind of yeah, because I think we're all like I don't know, we're all like in the same group. We're all like top tier players,
Yeah,
and we're all like 14 and 15. I think.
it's like
It,
when I was thinking about it, like I have a way of not ranking players but labeling players in the game, right? So
mm,
like I have I have people who I consider elite players, people who I consider superstar players, and people
mm,
who I consider superstar, like it's just star players, or like what I mean. Like I have
yeah,
different words that attach to certain
yeah,
tiers of players, and I think when it comes to superstar players, I think in my opinion, there's probably only 10 superstar players in the world, right? Like it's a
yeah,
really like exclusive kind of title
yeah,
to have, and within EU, I think there's probably maybe like six of that 10,
mm,
and
yeah,
three of that six just now are a trio, and it's like,
yeah,
what are you supposed to do about that? Like,
yeah,
I remember everyone's Twitter reactions were so crazy. It's like, come on, man,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah, I think we're gonna fucking dominate. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah,
think we're gonna destroy everybody. It's gonna be so much fun. Like
yeah,
I played like during the week I played a trio custom with Mitro since Savage wasn't here,
yeah,
and me and Mongraal like Mitro died and me and Mongraal just destroyed late game. Like it was disgusting. I think something that's gonna be super strong about our trio is we could all clutch solo.
yeah,
Like I think even though if one of us dies or two of us die, it's still such a high chance that we're gonna get still tons of points just from one of us popping off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun to watch that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you, back to the beginning of what of your career within Fortnite and within gaming in general. Really, you obviously did. I saw you did an interview. Can't remember who like it was with, but within the interview, you said something along the lines of, like, for a while now, you've known you wanted to be a pro in esports. You've known that's what you wanted to do. What games did you play before
Fortnite? I played quite a few games. I mean, I think I started off with like early Call of Duties with my brother. He introduced me to games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Call of Duty, Guitar Hero, and then when I got my first laptop, I started playing League.
Okay.
I put lots of hours into League, and I still sucked. I mean, it's because I was really young. I was only like 10 or 11, maybe even 9 when I first started playing League. So I sucked. But I still put so much time into it. And then I remember I found Counter-Strike, and I started playing that with a few friends.
Were you any good?
Yeah, I mean, at the start, I wasn't very good, but I learned really quickly, and I think I got Supreme, and then on ESC I got like B+, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I played CS.
Yeah.
Were you an RWS warrior then?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really about team play, to be honest. I kind of just did my own thing.
Yeah.
Some games went good, some games it didn't, but yeah, I grinded CS for ages, and then there was a game that I played on and off called Realm of the Mad Gods. It's like a web browser game, but you can get it on Steam. But I put 2K hours in that. It's like
Jesus Christ.
It's like pixelated WoW, sort of. I think that's the only way I can describe it. It's a really grindy game. It's like a bullet hell, and if you die, like, you lose all your stuff. So
Damn.
I put tons of time into that. But those are the main games I've played. I can't really think. Oh, I played lots of Rocket League as well. Not as much as CS. I've put I think 500 hours into Rocket League. Yeah, I don't know. There's times where I feel like playing a certain game, and then I grind that for ages, and then I get bored of that game. Then I switch to a different game, and like I've just got this small pool of like games I play, like League, CS, Rocket League, before Fortnite, that I just always switch to.
How did you actually start getting into Fortnite?
I think it was friends that had played it. So I first started playing it. I played it a bit, like season 1, season 2.
Yeah.
With just a few friends, and then I didn't really get into it at first. But then when I was at school, I heard a bunch of people talking about it.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to become better than them, because I remember they were saying how good they were. And I knew I was already good at games, so I knew I could just get better than them. So I started playing it tons, and I got really into it.
Yeah.
And I started looking through scrim servers and stuff, and I just grinded the game super hard. And I became better than my friends and stuff. Yeah, and then Fortnite was just the only game I played pretty much for a few months, I think.
So obviously back then, you were grinding out scrims and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anybody particular that you would watch or look up to, or you kind of just on your own?
I remember watching. Do you remember squad scrims?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching. It was a really early episode of one of those, and then before that, I'd already watched solo snipes and stuff online as well.
Yeah.
So I remember looking up some I looked up on Twitch solo snipes or something, and it was some NA Discord.
Yeah.
So I joined that, and I started sniping on NA for a bit against not very good players, not any known players.
Yeah.
And I just streamed it, and then I remember somebody coming in my stream and saying that there were EU snipes.
Yeah.
And that was Bush Paranoia, I think.
Okay.
And then one day I put in the looking for team channel that I was looking for a team.
Yeah.
And that's how got picked up on my first team pretty much.
Who was your first team?
It was Nadify, Scissor.
Oh, the beef
and
jerky situation.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Nadify, Scissor, and Peak. I mean, the beef like
Can
I
you
didn't
explain
really
that?
know about. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know anything about because it was Nadify who got us into clairvoyance.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. Like, I never even got any beef jerky. I remember Nadify got some, but that was the only person I can remember getting any. Yeah, I don't really know how it works. Like, he just randomly got. He was like one day like, oh, we're in clairvoyance now. We get free beef jerky or something like
That is
that.
jokes.
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't in the team for long. I'll say like a month or two or something.
Yeah.
Um, but then we were just slowly disbanded.
What
Yeah.
what rosters did you move on to? Who did you start playing with?
I started playing with Phoenix, like sort of as a duo a little bit, and
Yeah.
then we formed a team with Killigore
Oh yeah.
and I think Peak at first. I think it was me, Phoenix, Killigore, and Peak, and then Peak got dropped for Stig, I think it was.
Phase
And
stick.
then yeah, Face Stig. And then that was Team Flush.
Yeah, I remember that team. Yeah.
Yeah, Team Flush, and then that was the team for a while. We played Bush Paranoia divisions. We were like Division 2. We only stayed like we were in Division 2 the whole time throughout Bush Paranoia divisions until the last week, where we got to Div 1, but then it got shut down. So yeah,
I
it kind of
remember when it
sucks.
got shut down. I was sad.
I think towards the end of the weeks, I can't remember what happened to Phoenix, but he wasn't in the team. I can't remember if he got dropped or if he left. I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I can't remember really. But I remember Lazy coming in instead of Phoenix, and then okay, let me try to remember. I remember they were talking to somebody who was gonna get them in an org,
Yeah.
and they apparently the org didn't want somebody underage. Um, yeah, so I can't. This is ages ago, man. Yeah,
Throwbacks.
so I got like pretty much dropped because I was too young,
Yeah.
and they didn't even end up joining the org in the end, but which kind of sucks. But then after that, I was just solo for a bit, and then
Yeah, I was gonna say because obviously those are like in those days that was back when I used to play a lot because it was summer holidays, so I had way more time.
yeah,
And with most players, I remember like genuinely what teams they were on, but like I felt like I didn't. You were always around, right? Because you were always in the scene because you played divisions, whatever. But like I never knew who you kind of were playing with, that kind of thing. Like if you give me a random player, like I'll be able to tell you, oh yeah, back then they used to play with X, Y, Z. But like with you, I couldn't really remember. At the time though, even though you had been dropped, did you feel like you were one of the better players in EU, or were you still kind of developing?
I don't think I was one of the best by then. I think I was like pretty average compared to a lot of other players. I didn't have the experience. I'd been in the scene for like I don't know, like 3-4 months or something. Like there's people thought like at the time were the best. Like
Yeah.
Beehive was up there. Like
Yeah.
everybody who was in like War Legend. War
Yeah.
Legend was such a good team.
They were the best squad in EU for so long.
Yeah, and then Team Secret as well. Like all of those guys, people thought they were the best.
Yeah.
I was never really up there. People thought I was good, but people didn't consider me like the best. Like, yeah, I didn't think I was the best either. So yeah, I think I was still developing.
I always remember like back, maybe not at that time, but a bit later than that. I do remember you would play with like the Nip guys a lot. Like you were friends with them a lot.
Yeah.
Was there ever like a chance of you joining Nip and joining that roster, or were you just kind of just friends who would feel with each other and shit?
Yeah. Well, so before I started playing with the NIP guys, I got messaged by. Do you remember who Felly was?
Yeah, I remember Philly.
Felly, yeah. He messaged me asking to join Team Cryptic, like out of nowhere, and at the time, like, I thought it was like, oh, cool, like a team, and they were sponsored by like Logitech as well. I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
So I ended up joining. not on the best contract. I don't want to talk about the contract, but yeah, it wasn't very good.
I remember the contracts. People were talking about that so much at the time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
not the best contract. I managed to get out of it, and then, but during the time I was in Team Cryptic, that's when I started playing a lot with the NIP guys.
Yeah.
I played with Goofy and Cringe mainly.
Yeah.
And then me and Goofy started becoming a duo. We played with each other tons because we were really good together. I think that's the first like duo that I felt really comfortable with.
Yeah.
We would play like we would actually play like really well in customs a lot of the time. I remember the update. Do you remember the update where there was zombies came out? Like the zombie, yeah.
Spawning things.
Yeah, me on a day there were customs being held, and we won like 4 in a row or something, like
That's
against a bunch
crazy.
of pros. Like we were actually, I think we were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, the NIP thing. I'd been talking to them about NIP.
Yeah.
It was always just a hope. But since I was in Team Cryptic, and at the time I didn't know how to get out, like I was just stuck in Team Cryptic.
Yeah.
There was not really much I could like do.
Yeah, that's
I remember
fair
they
enough.
said that they would talk to NIP about it, but it was the whole thing that there's not really any point in an org picking up somebody who's underage. They can't
Yeah.
compete. Like even though like I could be really good, like it's like my stream wasn't good. Nothing. I didn't have any social growth or anything,
Yeah.
and I couldn't compete in any tournament, so I was just pretty useless.
I want to talk about the age kind of restriction thing in just a bit, but
Mhm.
before that, so that time period was kind of the era of private discords, right? Like back then we used to have, I think it was that streamers, certain community managers and shit were giving streamers keys, and obviously like we'd have like underground customs. I think it's fine to say that now just because it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
But we had like underground pro customs, and like people would make discords for it. Did you was that like when you started becoming really good? Did you get into those discords easily, or like did you kind of have to ask people to kind of get in?
No, I wasn't in those. I wasn't in a lot of the discords. I think I'd heard. I think the first like private discord I was in was Bush Paranoid Pro.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I don't know how I got in that. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
this is your interview, but just a big thing about me.
Yeah.
I feel like I got really lucky. Like I think I always had really good friends. Like the people I was friends with in the scene were always kind of really good to me and would help me to like get into these discords when a lot of the time I didn't deserve it. But yeah, that's weird. So you had to kind of really ask people to get into these places.
Yeah, a lot of discords I wasn't in. But I just grinded whatever customs I could play. I remember there was a time when Goofy was in a Discord that all the pros are playing in. And I wasn't in. And because we were duos at the time, Goofy tried to get me in, but at first they wouldn't let me because they didn't think I was good enough.
Oof.
So then he started playing with Cringe a lot, and then I was kind of just left there, like on my own, because I couldn't play any customs really. Yeah.
That must have sucked, man. Like
it was really shit. It was bad.
The first kind of Discord where like I started to really like see a lot of you in was Motor. Motor had a private Discord. Well, he didn't even have a private Discord. It was a public Discord, but like he gave pro roll and shit. And we used to have customs in there. And there was a time when he kind of like he just did this kind of ego thing where like he gave people a god roll.
God roll.
And like it was pretty sick, right? And like it was kind of pretty like it was pretty sick. Some people didn't like it or whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. But he gave the god roll to like all of the people you'd expect. Like he gave it to Osmo, Mongraal. Who else did he give it to? He gave it to
it was Milan.
Yeah, and he gave it to you, right? And I'd always know, like, at that time, I guess I knew you were a decent player because I'd seen you in customs winning and like in endgame a lot. But like, I didn't necessarily know you as being this god, like, or as per se, or like now obviously I would call it you are one of the superstar players in the world. Like I didn't know you as that, and obviously all those other players had a lot of recognition for being that. Did you? At the time, did you kind of feel like it was deserved, or like how was that for you? Like,
no, I was so surprised when I got given that role. Like, I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah.
At the time, I was in like Friends. It was a group called Friends Group.
Yeah, I remember
That
Friends
it
Group,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. And everybody had the Godzilla was in Friends Group at
Yeah.
the time. So, yeah. But I think I talked to Mo, not recently. Like I think it was a month or two ago about it.
Yeah.
And he said that apparently I was fighting Mota.
Yeah.
And I was destroying him or something in a fight, and then he like got a really lucky shot on me or something, and he killed me, and he was so surprised about how good I was that he gave me the role. I had
That's
no
sick.
idea that I'd like fought Mota or anything. Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize, and then I just randomly got given it. So I just
Yeah, that's kind of sick.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's interesting. I guess from there at least, it was very obvious to people that you were kind of ascending into one of the better players in EU. Shortly after that kind of time period, there was obviously the Winter Royale thing. That was a really cool event. The biggest problem with it though is the fact that you were restricted because of your age, and like a lot of players qualified. You were actually someone who qualified for it, but you couldn't play because of your age. I think you came like 112th or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like, but you couldn't play. How did that kind of affect you?
I mean, before I'd already known that like all the tournaments are going to be 16 plus.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I mean, it's on, so I might as well play it, you know. I was actually really surprised that I qualified. I didn't have a lot of confidence at the time as a solo player. Like I knew I was decent, but I didn't think I'd qualify, to be honest. And then I got a really good week, and I got 29 points. And I didn't expect that to qualify me. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be like 30, 31 to qualify.
Yeah, people were saying that. Ended up being 28 to qualify.
So yeah, I was pretty surprised that I qualified at the time, but yeah, it kind of sucked that because I knew that given the right opportunity, I could prove myself as being really good, but obviously I couldn't compete, so there's nothing for me to prove myself in, you know.
Yeah. Did it ever like demotivate you? Did you ever question like whether you wanted to keep playing or not?
Yeah. I think during when I was playing with Goofy, and when I was stuck in Team Cryptic, and then when I also got offered like NIP and stuff, that was like a time where I just wanted to quit. That was because at the time I didn't think that the age would be reduced at all, because I know from other games it's all like 16, 18. So yeah, I mean, like at the time I was 14, I'd have to wait like 1.5 years before I could actually compete. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad that I couldn't compete. Yeah, it was definitely demotivating.
I don't know if you know this about Savage or your dear partner Savage, but he obviously used to play with Ryu. I don't know if you remember Ryu.
Yeah, I remember Ryu.
But I remember Ryu telling me a story about how it was like around that kind of time period, maybe a bit earlier. It was back when they were in Enemy, I think. Or I think it might have been just after Enemy dropped them. Or they left Enemy, I don't know. I can't remember how that shit ended up. But essentially, Ryu kind of said to Savage, like, oh, bro, like, the age limit, we're not going to be able to compete. Like, what do we do? Like, what's the point of us playing kind of thing? And Savage kind of was just like, nah, bro, we just keep grinding. And I was like, just the fact that his mentality's always been like, just keep working hard kind of thing. I've always appreciated that about him.
Yeah.
So shortly after that, after Winter Royale, like around that time period, who were you playing with?
I think it was still Goofy. I still play I play with Goofy ever since I left Team Cryptic, or even like during Team Cryptic, and then up until like I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember when I started playing with Savage, but
yeah, how did you end up actually playing with Savage?
So it was a solo cup. Just remember one of those like weekly solo cups or whatever. Scallywag. Or it was something like that or something. Yeah, so we kept getting into each other's games.
Yeah.
And he was streaming at the time, and we kept, I think it was like 4 times or something that we went 2-2, like we both killed each other. And then I remember him DMing me about it, and just like, just like after we killed each other, saying like GGs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after the tournament, we DM'd more. And he asked if I wanted to play any scrims or something. At the point, I think at that time he was deal with Blood X.
Yeah, he was playing with Blood X.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I felt bad because at the time I was dealing with Goofy.
Yeah.
We were good together, but like at the time, Savage was like known as one of the best players. Like
Yeah, and he had just gone NRG as well. Like,
yeah. Like he got first in Showdown, second Winter Royale.
yeah,
Like he was known to be like really good.
yeah. Like back
So
then, I think I don't know how much that's changed now, but back then, if you asked me who was the best solo player in EU, I would have said Savage or Mute.
he was nuts. Like everybody regarded him super high. So I was really surprised when he asked me to duo. It's like an offer that you can't take down.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think I felt really bad for Goofy. I think yeah. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to because I'd been playing with Goofy and I'd become like best friends with him.
Yeah,
Just say and then to say like I'm gonna try out duo with somebody else. It's pretty it's pretty bad, but I had to do it. So yeah.
I think a lot of players end up in situations where they don't want to leave people because they have such close friends with them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like if you're listening to this and you know you're in a similar situation, you got to do what's best for your career if you're serious about this. You know.
Yeah.
So obviously with Savage, you kind of had instant success, which is weird because when watching your stream or when watching his stream specifically, a lot of it felt like as much as you were such an amazing player, like you were such a good raw talent, and you were so skilled and everything. A lot of it felt like he was teaching you a lot. Like so like watching the streams, it was like he was teaching you and like molding you into a better player. What was that dynamic like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I thought Savage was a lot better than me at the time. Like, I didn't really have as much confidence. So I was really nervous when I first started playing with Savage, like super nervous. I was scared that one day he's just gonna be like, nah, I don't think it's gonna work out or some shit. I was really because I knew how big an opportunity it was.
Yeah.
And then I think I know there was a pub stomp tournament that we played in and we won that.
Yeah.
It was called Montana Black. It was like a 20K tournament that we won, which is pretty crazy. I think that was like a few weeks after we first started duoing, and then after that there was Scrimcom.
Yeah, I remember you guys won that.
Yeah, we won that. So I think that's, I think that just showed that how good of a duo we were.
Yeah,
like
potential you had
two,
to be.
two tourneys back to back.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty crazy at the time for me because I never really performed too well in tournaments.
Were you nervous? Like, did you ever like in the back of your head when you were playing with him, were you thinking like, oh, am I gonna get into NRG as well, or like? That kind of thing?
I never really thought about joining NRG at first. I always just thought about the opportunity of being able to deal with Savage. Yeah, I think it just came with like since we were playing so good together, it was like obvious that being in NRG will probably come. Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes sense, really.
Yeah, it makes sense. But obviously, when we first started doing, the age limit was still 16 plus.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, but NRG reached out to me before the age limit was even lowered. So I'd already because they saw that I was playing with Savage and we were doing really well together.
Yeah.
So and that's when I started streaming as well a lot. I'd streamed before, like early days, like when I was playing snipes and stuff, but I took a huge break from then and then I started streaming when I was playing with Savage. My views started going up and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it gave NRG a reason to want to pick me up because my stream and stuff was growing.
Yeah. It's obviously it's interesting that you talk about like for people who have listened to this far. It's kind of been like a common theme of where, you know, at certain points in your career you didn't have confidence, and going into the World Cup, you became the first person to double qualify. And
first person was Stumpy. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, okay, yeah, I messed that one up. But you obviously kind of began to just dominate it basically. Like you
Yeah.
and Savage, and you as a solo player just started to become so dominant to the point where a lot of people consider you the best player in the world now.
Mm.
Like that's a genuine thing. Like even in school, like I go in school, so I told a few people in my school that I was going to be interviewing you, and they were like, "Oh, bro, like he's the best Fortnite player in the world," and it's like so crazy to see how far you've come.
Yeah.
Do you? Obviously, I think as a top player, you kind of have to think in the back of your head, "I'm the best player in the world." Like that kind of confidence pushes you forward.
Yeah.
But going into the World Cup, going to New York, like how are you feeling about it?
Um. I don't know. Like, it's the first LAN I've ever been to, and it's a huge LAN.
Yeah,
Like, a lot of people's first LANs, they're quite small,
yeah,
but the first LAN I'm going into, it's this huge, like, biggest Fortnite tournament in the world, stuff like. I don't know. Like, I think I've definitely got better with my confidence over time.
yeah,
I remember during Winter Royale, I was pretty nervous.
yeah,
And I think I can still get nervous at times, but I've definitely improved a lot with how confident I am in games and not getting as nervous and stuff. But I don't know how I'm gonna perform at LAN because I know different people have different like
reactions to the pressure and
react.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like
You could
I'm
have
just hoping that I'm gonna pop off and because something that I've noticed with me is especially in solos, if I have a really good first game
yeah,
then I play really well in the rest because I've got the confidence.
yeah,
It was the same in the World Cup qualifiers. Like, if I had a really good first game, then I would stay really consistent.
yeah.
Um, but if I didn't do as well in the first game, I think I took like 1 or 2 games to recover, at least in the World Cup qualifiers, and then I started playing well again.
It's gonna
But I
be hard
think,
to do that though, because you only got
yeah,
six
it's only
games,
six
right, or
games.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But I think that's the main thing I need to work on. Like, it's definitely gonna. That's the main thing because I think a lot of people who are going to the World Cup obviously have never been to a LAN. So
yeah.
I think the people who have been like have experience like Bizzle,
Bizzle,
Stompy,
Tfue.
Stompy's played at ESL. Anybody's played at ESL. They've all
Yeah,
got this huge advantage over people who haven't played at a LAN before. Like
yeah,
even Savage and Mongraal both played at like small LANs.
yeah.
Mongraal
They
played
went
at
to the
DreamHack,
DreamHack things. Yeah,
and then Savage went to Polaris, I think.
yeah,
So they've both experienced it, but been like I've never been in that sort of situation before, so it's gonna be strange. But I think I'll still pull out or like on top. I think.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
What kind of things have you been working on in your game? Like, it's you haven't got a lot of time left. You've got like about less than a month, but like,
Yeah.
what gaps in your game have you realized over the World Cup, and like, what have you been working on fixing?
Um, I think I've been watching a lot of other people play World Cup qualifiers. I've been going through VODs and stuff of people playing World Cup qualifiers,
Yeah,
picking up on small things that they do. I was watching dubs. I've been watching, yeah, just anybody. I think I've mainly been watching solos.
yeah,
Because I think that's the main thing I need to work on. I think in duos, me and Savage can do really well, but it's solos that it's so RNG, and it's gonna be really hard to control with that amount of like really good players.
yeah.
It's gonna be really RNG. Because we're all around the same skill level, like, and yeah,
It's a thing where like in the World Cup qualifiers, as even in your top, on the Sunday when you have like the finals or whatever. Realistically, let's say you land at your landing spot, you get some pretty crappy loot. You're good enough to just probably go and W key someone and get some loot, right? But like
yeah,
in the World Cup, you look to your north and 200 meters away is flipping Bizzle. Like you can't just go W key him and expect to get loot, kind of thing. That it's gonna be difficult, So,
yeah.
but I'm sure you'll be fine. Does
Yeah.
NRG have a coach, or do you guys kind of do everything yourself?
No, we go for ourselves. Well, I mean, we like train ourselves pretty much. We don't have a coach, but NRG are sending us out to a boot camp like early, to New York.
That should
So
be
that's
good.
nice. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So Zay, me, and Savage. I think Symphony's going as well, even though he hasn't qualified. I think he's going to meet everybody and stuff. But
That should
yeah,
be
that's
good.
I think that's gonna help.
You've obviously met Savage, and you guys have kind of boot camp before. What was that like, meeting him? You guys like have
Yeah,
the
it
same
was,
kind of chemistry in
yeah,
person?
it was good. It was nice to meet him. I mean, yeah, I think the first time I met him was like, I don't know, like a month or two ago. I went to Norway.
Yeah,
Um, it was weird. It was the first Fortnite player that I've ever met in real life.
that's pretty sick.
But yeah, it was cool though. It was cool. Like
Have you
going
ever
all the
been
way out to Norway.
recognized?
Nah, I've never been recognized. I
It's gonna
think
change on New York.
I think it's mainly because I don't like do face cam or anything. Even though
Yeah,
this picture's out of me, I mean,
yeah,
I plan to do face cam after World Cup, for sure. But
yeah.
right now, yeah, I,
Hopefully we can get you back on here with Facecam.
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully.
I'm down.
I actually did a face kind of a face reveal yesterday. Like I streamed and I had my camera on for a bit.
Oh yeah, nice.
It'll be good to see that. So I had a few viewers, like one or two viewers, kind of leave their questions, a few questions they wanted to ask you. So I'm gonna start off. Some of these questions might not get asked just because I kind of already answered them during the interview. Let's start off with this one, kind of a trolly one. Nado said, your good old friend Nado asked, "Do you still like beef jerky?"
I never got any beef jerky, man. I never received any. Like, I haven't even tried beef jerky before, so maybe I do, maybe I don't. Like, yeah, I never got any, so yeah.
For sure. I'll get you some beef jerky. Don't worry. I'll sort you out.
Let's go.
My friend Zah asked you, "Do you prefer using the pump or the combat shotgun?"
So what I've been going for is I take blue pump over blue combat, and then epic and legendary combats I take over any other pump.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And he also, I guess, asked, what would your ideal loadout be?
Scar, legendary combat, 6 minis, 2 rifts, and shadow bombs. I think like that's easy, like top 3.
Bro, I think you forgot, mate. Rifts are gone.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Oh, rifts are gone.
Oh, okay. All right, get rid of the rifts and put shockwaves instead of impulses.
Yeah, shockwaves are
I
solid.
forgot.
Yeah, I know. People like it's so crazy. Rifts are gone. They've been in the game for so long.
Yeah.
Shockwaves are kind of crazy though. Like when I was watching the cup yesterday, the Boom Cup, there was so many players where like people were getting like shockwaved into storm.
Yeah, it can be really good, but also it can be kind of like frustrating if you get impulse into the storm or something.
My friend Nick Suga asked, what advice would you have for a player trying to get into the pro scene and trying to make a name for themselves?
Something I've noticed on people, like I've noticed a few people that just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you know who Wolfies is?
Yeah.
I remember he, like, at least in Bush Power, like, maybe not Bush Power now, but in the pro scene, I didn't know him at all.
Never did I. No, trust me. Like,
and
don't even be like, afraid to say. Like, I think he will even admit himself because I've spoken to him a couple of times. Like, he nobody kind of knew who he was. He came from nowhere.
Yeah. Like I remember he had Twitch in his name, and he popped off in one of the solo tournaments, and I remember he got tons of views from that, and he just kept playing super consistently in these tournaments.
Yeah.
And that's how he got recognized. And then he started getting invited to Discord and stuff when they were around.
He started playing with Rojo.
Yeah. And then they've qualified now, so it's pretty crazy.
I think with that, with getting noticed kind of thing in the scene, it's a lot more fair, I guess, now, because back in the day it was kind of like who were your friends.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, okay, what were your results in the World Cup qualifiers? Show me some evidence you're a good player, kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's a lot easier. I mean, I say easier, but you still gotta be a really good player. You've gotta grind really hard. Like, if you want to be one of the best, you've gotta like put in the time. Like, you've gotta go over VODs and stuff. Like, watch anybody who's qualified, in the World Cup and just see how they played. Like anything, and if you perform in a tournament, if you keep consistently performing in a tournament, like certain open tournaments, like if you. Like in a trio tournament that's coming up, if you do really well in that, you're gonna get recognized.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just gotta perform in tournaments, and you'll get instantly recognized. If you start streaming, you'll get good viewers.
Yeah.
Everything will grow if you just do well in these open tournaments.
Yeah, man. I don't know. There's not much. There's not much more to say. I appreciate you coming on here, man. I think the people will really enjoy it. Hopefully, we can get you back on. Get you back on after World Cup. You know, good luck. Good luck to you there. I bought a lot of Benji stock. I'm trusting you to do what you say.
Right, nice.
So, good luck in that, man. We'll see you around, man.
Yeah, I'll see it.
Thank you to Benji for coming on the podcast today, man. He's an amazing guy, one of the nicest guys that I've met in the community. I've known him for quite a while now, and he's always been an amazing player, an amazing guy, an amazing friend. Of course, on the next episode of the Leven podcast, we're going to be joined by Smeef. Be sure to follow me on Twitter so you can get the Discord. Hop in the Discord. You know, I'm pretty active in there. I pretty much answer anyone that asks me anything. You know, and obviously there's an opportunity of getting your questions in the podcast. Once again, like I say every episode, let me know who you guys want to see on here. Of course, the next episode will be Smeef, but after that, you know, it's kind of up in the air on who we're going to see in here. So let me know on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Benji on Twitter. But I'm sure most of you, if you're listening, you already do. Thank you guys for listening. Have fun.